So, hey guys, a new tryout duel has been announced, and this is pretty interesting. So, if respect play is placed in both player spell and trap zones at the start of the duel, the first thing that I'm going to say straight up, uh, isn't the Lord of the Heavenly Prison like very playable with this? Hmm. And then the second thing is, you'll be able to see what's in both players' hands. So technically, we can almost make the most optimal plays. We're still lacking some information, like, for example, what's on top of our opponent's deck, our opponent's main deck cards, our opponent's extra deck cards, so we're still lacking that information. But we do have general knowledge of what our opponent is playing, which is useful. But this also makes certain cards, like, absolutely useless, like Suffering Your Gamma can be pretty useless unless you aren't committing a monster to the board, which is kind of interesting. But also, cards that need to be revealed to activate, those just don't work under this rule set. So that is a little bit awkward. But aside from that, uh, what do we want to do here? So during their well, let's read this. During their respective turns, each player must show their opponent their hand. So this would mean specifically the turn player would have to show, right? Yeah. So it's just the turn player. So you don't know what your opponent has in their hand, but they know exactly what you have in the hand, assuming it is your turn. Okay. So this is a little bit awkward. And this makes the game like harder to play, but still interesting because this stipulation would uh happen and both players would be affected by this technically, right? Does this mean we might want to perhaps try playing going second? We could try that technically. But like interestingly enough, if our opponent has Called by the Grave, we can successfully bait that easier. Like for example, if I have Ash Blossom Joe Spring and Maxi in hand, I can wait for my opponent to do something and then I drop Ash. I know they'll probably Called by it because they won't have a play otherwise. And I will know this because I do see their hand. And then I can know they have no response to Maxi then and then chain Maxi. So that's a little brutal in that regard, and I'm not 100% sure the optimal way to play this event, but you know me, we're all about the gimmicks here. So we're going to attempt some gimmicks. So, Lord of the Heavenly Prison, Lord of Te Heavenly Prison. No, 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 no. Okay, Lord of the Heavenly Prison states this. Uh, During your main phase, you inactivate this effect. This card in your hand becomes revealed until the end of your opponent's turn. While this card is revealed by specifically this effect, set cards on the field cannot be destroyed by card effect. So if it's just normally revealed, uh, nothing's being protected. But if a set spell trap card is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if you activate this effect while this card was revealed, does not have to be by this effect. You can reveal and set one spell trap directly from your deck, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. So if we are able to specifically activate a set spell trap card, we can then summon Lord of the Heavenly Prison on the same turn, and we can set any uh, trap we want, and then it should be activatable. So that's kind of neat, right? So let's use that as our main gimmick, and we're going to play combo because I always play combo. So our goal here will be to use Phantom Knights, and we're going to run it this way. All right. So we're going to put in Phantom Knights of Break Sword. This can use a Rebellion Xyz monster, so we'll throw in one of these guys for fun. Then we need 2 or 3 Fog Blades. We'll go with 3 just cause. And then we want a copy of Ardeesh, 2 copies of Silent Boots, 3 of Ancient Cloak. And then we want either 2 or 3 of Torn Scales. We'll just go with 2, I think, is probably the right amount. Then we'll want 1 copy of Shade Brigandine. Feminites rank up. This doesn't destroy, right? Or whatever. Yeah, that's just a quick rank up one, I think. That has that text. Not 100% sure, but whatever. And then we'll want, I believe, 1 copy of yeah, 1 copy of Ragged Gloves. And we can consider Raider's Wing, but we don't really need Raider's Wing. Okay. Raider's Wing is like okay, I guess. But we don't really need it for anything. Then we go ahead and look at the Xyz dragons. I believe there's like Xyz Arc Rebellion Xyz dragon, yeah. So we have that. Dark Rebellion. So these guys are all Rebellion cards, which allows us to rank up into this, and then we get let's see. This card that was XYZ zone using a rank 7 XYZ monster's material can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase, so we can't do that, but we can still rank this up into a Zeus, so still in general useful tech, I would say. And we also want where is it? Ah, there we go. A copy of Dark Requiem, very important. And then probably throw in a Raider's Knight, that's probably fine. And some staples, so we can go with Ash Blossom, Just Ring, then Infinite Impermanence. I'm pretty sure some F tier cards that might exist are like Triple Tactics Talents. There's no way that gets mileage, like, surely not. Like, your opponent can see your Triple Tactics Talents, like, it would be ridiculous. Okay, so next here, you probably want to consider Cherubini and then Terratop. Seems good to me, I guess, right? Terratop. And then Leviar. Probably 1 copy of this. Or are we supposed to run 2? I don't remember how this works. So we'll just throw in 2 and assume this works. And then we go grab Utopic Drake of Future. And then Utopic Future, I believe. And then we'll sort out the rest of the extra deck in a bit. We're going to have to do some cuts, I think, potentially. But we do want Zeus, though. I think 100% 1 copy of Zeus at least. Okay. So we have this guy, which we can summon back, but we are actually Dark Locked to use this effect. Yeah, okay. If we use Levier twice, we then go into Breaksword, I guess. I think that's the order, probably. Okay. And our extra deck is looking like a bit tight here, but whatever. Next, we're going to start throwing in my favorite package, Danger Dark Grepher. So we're going to need 1 of these guys, 1 of these guys, 2 of those guys, 2 of those guys. And then we're going to want some copies of Dark Grepher. Reinforcement of the army, and then we'll take Called By as well. And then what else do we... Called By. We have a really high ratio of monsters here. So we'll go with Destrudo here. And we'll probably be able to go to 41 with this, and it won't be too problematic, I don't think. Yeah, okay. So this should be okay. You don't actually need to play the BA package for this. I'm pretty happy just sending like 1 of these guys, even if it's not like a 1-card combo. I'm still okay with like just using Terratop for just a little bit of nonsense. But the primary thing we're going to want to see is going to be Shade Brigandine, right? So then we want something funny to activate with Lord of the Heavenly Prison. So let's go with what's it called again? Uh, is it this? No, it was this. Imperial Iron Wall, I believe. Neither player can banish cards, meaning we cannot banish this, despite setting it with like Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which is comedy. Will this really affect our opponent? Maybe, maybe not, but it for sure can be funny. So maybe that's all we needed, right? And then Dugas, we actually probably want IP, so instead we'll cut this and go Apollosa instead, because that's probably easier to make just straight up. If we can make Apollosa instead, I'd rather do that, yeah. And it takes less cards to do so. And now we have more cards to do whatever, right? And then we can throw in, I don't know, SP here. That's pretty extra deck efficient for the time being. And yeah, we're mostly fine. So I guess we should wrap up with Redoer. And potentially the other rank 4 option we have is this card, Evil Swarm Nightmare. If we are running Nightmare, what would for this? We do also have like some other options we could try messing around with. I guess we could cut the Levier if we aren't going to be doing anything specific with the Levier. There is that idea, but yeah. For the most part, this should be okay. If we really want to get crazy with it, we can technically use Gallant Granite and then try to go for Bardiche. Like, if we were more focused on this interaction, we can go Gallant Granite to always guarantee that we have a Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and we would only need to run one then. But we're a little bit tight on extra deck space here, so probably not, but the idea generally here is Gallant Granite, right? Adds Lord of the Heavenly Prison, we can link off this guy for IP, so it's Dark. Bardiche sets Shade Brigandine, activate Shade Brigandine. Lord of the Heavenly Prison's already revealed. We can then use this to set any floodgate for the next turn. Well, that's about the most interesting thing I could come up with. Aside from that, I mean, there's like nothing beyond the usual that you could really do here. But your opponent having hand knowledge on you, I can guarantee this is going to be one of the worst decks for this event. Branded. Huh. Does my opponent have Cult By for Ash Blossom Joe Spring? No. I will just wait for Branded Fusion then. Or, damn, they have insert card here. I will just bait out their Cult By so I can Ash Branded Fusion. Yeah, yeah. There's probably some decks that are kind of like interesting with this, but not that much more so than usual. It just makes certain cards like really dead, like Triple Tactics Talent should be pretty garbage, like just in general. I mean, unless you're going second, in which case, like, you can't just let your opponent play for free, so it's like, it is what it is, but you can play more around it if you have like imperms and stuff. You could just use those instead, if possible, and then you might be okay in that regard, so that depends a little bit. But yeah. I don't see this event being super like crazy, but and maybe people will hate this one less than perhaps Skill Drain tryout. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.